Okay, so we've talked a lot about what smoothies can do for you, but what if you decide, nah, I don't want to do it? Or what if you just want to review your life that you've pre-smoothies, right? Pre this challenge, what's your life been like? What has it been like as a nation? So this section will be focused on the US because I think we're in the worst shape. So if you're in a country that's not as bad off as the US, this is what you have to look forward to going forward. So what do? If we're not having smoothies, we're loading up on sugar and carb-based drinks. So that's all those sodas, those sports drinks, those energy drinks. There's nothing good in there. There's a nice, cute marketing scheme that tells you how great it is for you, but really, the only thing about them is that they cost money. There's nothing good about them. Really, they're empty. When you make your own drink, you know exactly what's going into it. You know there's no preservatives. You know there's no chemicals. There's no ingredients whose name you can't pronounce. They're whole fruits and whole veggies. These things that you buy off the shelf, look at the ingredient label. You don't even know what's in them. Secondly, we eat way too many calories. So when you have a donut, right, how full are you after that donut? You can go out and eat something else, right? You're just satisfied as far as your sugar goes, but that's about it. Well, if you eat a smoothie with the equal value in calories, you probably wouldn't even be able to finish the smoothie. You'd be so full. So we're eating way too many junky, carb-based calories. And we're missing out on those key nutrients. We're not and we're not taking in anything good that our body really needs. So when you start the smoothie challenge, you're really going to notice the difference because you're going to have gone from, you know, let's say 10% of the nutrients you needed to 100% of the nutrients you needed, and your body is just going to you're going to feel like a whole new person. So I want to make sure that you definitely do this challenge. But let's give you a few more things before we dive in. Let's show you what is going on in our country and what's going on in our diets. So again, this is based on the U.S. because that's where I'm located. But again, we're the country that I feel like is in the worst shape. So take a look at what's coming if you're not in the U.S. right now. Here is how many times per day someone in the U.S. eats a fruit and veggie. So if you're over here in California and Oregon, you're doing pretty good, right? You're getting your fruits and veggies. But the rest of the country, pretty sad, right? Here I am, I'm over in New York, 1.6 times per day. So basically, when I said I eat veggies about once a day, that's it. That's about what our whole state is getting. And when you look at the country, I mean, look at some of these countries, some of these states, how poor it is. We're really, as a country, not getting the nutrition we need. We're not taking in veggies. Here's what sugar has done for us. So way back here in 1820, we had less than 10 pounds of sugar in a year. Here's where we are now. We're probably about 110 pounds. This is pounds over here. Pounds per year per person. That's pretty disgusting, right? And I'm sure it's going up. This is 2005, so I'm sure it's going up even higher than that if you come up with the year that I'm recording this, which is 2017. So this is a pretty scary trend. And where is this coming from? It's coming from processed foods and veggies. I'm sorry, processed foods. No veggies. Total lack of veggies. Here's the fat chart. So this is pretty scary. So in the 1900s, we were having a lot of margarine, and that's kind of tailed off a bit. But look at this one, oils. We've gone off the chart in oils. Now, I'd like to think that some of these are healthy oils, but they're probably not. This is the fast food industry, right? This is what we're eating, the fried foods, those chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, French fries, all those great foods that we love. They're all in a fat of some sort, right? They're all being fried. And there's where it comes out. That's pretty scary. So let's take a look at how we are making up our plate. So look at this, 63% is fats, oils, sugars, and refined grains. Look at over here is our little plant food. That's pretty sad, all the way over here. And then we have our animal food intake. But look at this. This is non-food. Over 50% of our diet, over 60% of our diet is not even something that we qualified as food. That's pretty sad. And I'm the first one to tell you that I'm there. That was what my diet used to look like before I started to do smoothies. And now I'm able to get this pie chart to be a little bit more balanced. But this is pretty sad. So what happens when this is what your diet looks like? What happens? Well, let's look at the number of people on prescription drugs. So again, this is based on the US. So look at this. Once you hit 60, you're pretty much taking some kind of prescription drug. But look at this. Even the kids, 22% of kids are on a prescription drug. That's really sad. And you can see that women are definitely more prone to drugs. And then they break it up by race. But what I'm wondering is, these are the people that can afford drugs. These are the people with some kind of prescription plan. How many people have just an unhealthy lifestyle that should be taking a drug to deal with their issues but can't even afford it because of the lack of a prescription plan? So these are from the people. This chart really only reflects the people who have some kind of prescription drug plan and doesn't reflect all the people who are very unhealthy who can't afford drugs and don't show up on this chart. Let's look at obesity. So here we are, 1995. The fact that every country has a pretty hefty obesity number from 10% to almost 20%, that's pretty sad. Every state here is somewhere in there. But now look at us. In 2010, there's nobody left in the blue. And look at these states that are over 30% of their population is obese. I'm over here in New York. Okay, we're doing pretty good. We're keeping pace with California, who's eating their veggies. But really, look at the country, and this is in 2010. So I'm sure this chart has gotten worse since then, and that there's a lot more people or a lot more states that are going to be in that really, really dark rust color. So that's pretty sad, and that shows you what's happening because we're not eating fruits and veggies. 63% of our diet doesn't even qualify as food. It's just stuff we've made up in a factory somewhere. That's pretty sad. I wish I had a chart to show you the food production, the actual farmers in the country, because that would be interesting to see how much it's decreased over the years. But that just shows you this is how it's playing out. That we have at least over 10% obesity back in 1995. Every state was over 10%. And now every state is over 20%. That's really, really sad statistic. So I want you to be one of those people that's going to start reversing the statistic. We're going to start with a smoothie challenge, and in the next section we'll go through steps on it. But you're going to start the smoothie challenge, and you are not going to be one of these statistics. So if you're overweight now, or if you're on prescription drugs now, I hope by the time you've incorporated smoothies into your lifestyle, you start to see a reverse in those trends. You start to come off those drugs, you start to see the weight come off, you start to see your energy go up, and that you start to feel like a person again because you're eating real food. So don't be a statistic, or be a positive statistic. Reverse this trend. So we'll see you in the next section, and that's when we're going to start to design the actual smoothie challenge.